Aries, don't confuse attraction with a real answer. Today, your heart wants cleaner evidence. Think of a closed room. Inside it, a promise that wants a boundary meets your most automatic reflection. Venus is moving through the work, method, health zone, joining desire and limit. If one is missing, the other becomes costly. This is the scene where someone looks at you, texts you, or provokes you, and you can tell whether you want truth or fast relief. What you want becomes readable in the way a promise that wants a boundary either respects your boundary or drains it. Today, the point is not to be right in love. It is not to betray your own measure just to keep contact alive. The risk is getting quick contact and ending up with less truth, less measure, and more hunger for reassurance. Move. Name what you feel with restraint, but do not give more presence than the other person can hold. Send this to the person who feels deeply, but needs to protect their center better. Taurus. If an invitation annoys you, it's not a detail, it's the signal. Don't buy relief with a reassurance that doesn't nourish you. The moon makes the point visible, the one you should not treat automatically. It's the invitation that lights something up. It looks like freedom, but it asks for an immediate yes. The immediate spark is loud. The living part does not need to purchase approval. The spark is not the problem. It becomes the problem when you chase the effect and lose your center. For Taurus, the risk is not resistance. It's staying still, even when calm is starting to cost you. The spark is real, only if it does not need to possess you right away. One part wants reassurance now. The lucid part keeps the spark without handing it the wheel. Choose a living gesture. The rest can wait off stage. Move. Choose what is alive, not what is merely soothing. Save this before you give reassurance more power than pleasure. Gemini. Today is not neutral. The past decides a present response. Venus brings fire to the base of things, and what has stayed unspoken now wants exact words. It's a small scene, but not a heartless one. A tiny gesture decides how much room you leave to automation. The easy choice feels small. The cost arrives after you have already said yes. The price is not dramatic, and that is exactly why it is dangerous. You confuse nostalgia with obligation. For Gemini, a clever line can save face for 10 seconds. Then, the knot you didn't untie is still there. Memory can explain the weight, but it should not choose in your place. Ask yourself this: are you doing it to choose better, or to stop feeling the tension? Separate memory from fact. Then answer only to the present. After that, you can move. First, strip out what came from haste, pride, or the need to close the loop. Move. Say yes only after removing the part born from urgency. Keep this close. Today, the useful boundary has to be remembered twice. Cancer. Value leaks slowly. One exception, then a habit, then a debt. The cut does not end life. It ends the point that kept eating your direction. With Jupiter stretching the resources money value axis, the issue is not having more. It's knowing what truly deserves space. This is the line between being available and giving in, subtle, concrete, and less negotiable than usual today. Money is only part of it. A small request that expands the bill also reveals how much room you allow without agreement. If the cost stays implied, the day often sets the price in the most convenient way for others, not for you. For Cancer, feeling a lot is a strength only if it does not push you into automatic sacrifice. If you leave a small request that expands the bill vague, someone will use that gap as an advantage. Move. Separate generosity from price, then decide what you can truly sustain. Save this before discomfort starts setting the price for you. Leo. If the value is unclear, do not fill the gap with politeness. Cold open. This is not a neutral day, because a price still unnamed has already changed the weight of the room. With Venus active, the resources money value axis asks for a choice that is beautiful but not blind. Intensity and dignity have to stay together. If nobody names the bill, a price still unnamed can become the usual advantage of whoever insists better than you do. This is a micro-power negotiation. Whoever defines the price also defines the rhythm. For Leo, The risk is wanting to hold the tone and losing the truest point. The risk is accepting the wrong measure today and finding yourself tomorrow defending a boundary that is already eroded. The risk is paying so you do not seem difficult, and then having to defend a much bigger boundary later. Move. If the boundary is real, say it or write it now, not after it has already been crossed. Virgo. If a fear dressed up as clarity irritates you, it may be showing you a convenient lie. The pressure point is here. A fear disguised as clarity feels manageable until you realize it has been setting the rhythm. Venus on the identity-body-presence axis opens contact, but it also asks the most uncomfortable question. How much are you giving just to feel chosen? This is the scene where the problem is no longer the world around you, but the comfortable version of yourself you keep telling. The more you try to stay clear without feeling, the more that point finds a way to be heard. If the alibi stays standing, the day may still hold together outside. It is you who stays split inside. For Virgo, detail helps only if it does not become a way to postpone the hidden part. The risk is defending a version of yourself that used to work, but now asks too much in return. Move. Before you defend yourself, ask what you are really protecting. Tomorrow will care whether you lied to yourself at the easiest point. Libra. For Libra, recovery today is not escape. It is maintenance of clarity. The key is not doing more. It is touching the point that needs repair in the place that moves everything else. Venus puts magnetism on the rest-closing inner preparation field. But the sky asks you to separate real desire from the need for reassurance. This is real maintenance. Less heroism, more intelligence in protecting what keeps you clear. When you remove pressure at the right point, what needs repair returns more clarity than another proof of endurance would. Today asks for real balance, not elegant suspension of the problem. If you keep treating recovery like an optional extra, the day can end with more presence lost than real results. If you keep sacrificing that rhythm, clarity pays before results do. Move. Defend your recovery with a visible boundary, not a mental promise. Send this to the person who still confuses automatic endurance with quality presence. Scorpio. Today's love signal is not sweet. It is precise and maybe uncomfortable. This is the point where someone lights you up, but the sky asks you not to hand over the wheel. Narrow the field. When you focus on what is alive, a contact that tests the boundaries starts telling the truth. Venus makes the network's friends' future plans feel more sensitive. The point is not to be liked more, but to choose better. This is not generic romance. A contact that tests the boundary measures how intact you can stay while something moves you. For Scorpio, the risk is mastering the scene perfectly and leaving the center unresolved. The real question is the difference between a bond that opens presence and a dynamic that feeds only on your reaction. The cost is giving presence before you know whether the living part truly deserves space. Move. Name what you feel with restraint, but do not give more presence than the other person can hold. Re-listen to it when someone lights you up more than they clarify you. Sagittarius. If a commitment keeps coming back, maybe it doesn't want patience. Maybe it wants a decision. There is no need for drama. A commitment that needs to get moving again becomes readable in the first real shift in your tone. With Venus in the foreground, the career role public direction axis is not neutral. What feels good also has to respect you. This is the moment when the day shows you not the whole problem, but the first piece you can actually move. The block feels huge while you speak to it from a distance. Once you touch it, its authority shrinks. For Sagittarius, the risk is wanting to stay open to everything and leaving the most important things shapeless. The question is whether you use pressure to choose or to build a more refined version of postponement. Delaying today may look clean, but it gives more weight to the version of you that avoids. Move. Take the smallest piece that creates real motion and do it before it turns into theory. Come back here when you want to call stalling prudence. Capricorn, do not treat a domestic boundary like an emergency just because it exposes you. Saturn activates home, roots, and the emotional base. The choice can't stay automatic. The risk does not shout. It becomes friction while everyone pretends not to notice. It's home, a simple request, a yes given to keep the peace, a threshold nobody names. For Capricorn, a domestic boundary becomes dangerous when you call it duty and stop measuring the cost. Giving 1 centimeter can look loving. Giving in all the time becomes an unspoken contract. The problem is not the request. It is the boundary left unsaid. If keeping the room calm requires you to become smaller, that is not peace. It is an emotional tax. The strong move is a boundary set quietly before the wall goes up. Are you protecting home or buying quiet with a piece of yourself? Write who does what. Wait. Only confirm what you can carry. Move. Say the boundary before it hardens. Aquarius. The fixed part of the day wants one thing, a clean cut. Do not trust tension alone. Ask a friction that wants a real move for a practical, verifiable sign. With Uranus in the scene, the identity-body presence axis asks for a real change, not just a reaction against boredom. This is the moment when you understand the problem no longer needs better analysis. It needs a gesture that reduces it. Pressure becomes an ally when you use it to turn a friction that wants a real move into something verifiable. For Aquarius, seeing further helps only if the fixed point becomes a concrete choice. The risk is staying loyal to an orderly version of the problem while life asks for gesture. The risk is making the block more respectable until it becomes a style instead of a problem. Move. Choose the gesture that reduces the noise and do it without 3 explanations. Come back here before you give more oxygen to a point that lives only on your delay. Pisces. If a margin for recovery asks for space, listen before it has to raise its voice. The shift in perspective matters. A margin for recovery does not just tell you what is heavy. It shows where you can intervene. Venus brings light to the relationships, agreements, confrontation field. An emotional or value-based choice cannot stay vague. This is where recovery stops looking like a luxury and becomes the base for not wrecking everything else. If you remove an unnecessary request, you do not lose strength. You recover it where it matters. Today, you do best when you turn intuition into gesture, not just atmosphere. The real loss would be sacrificing good clarity to save every urgency, especially the ones that are not all yours. If you keep forcing that tired part, the price can arrive as the wrong tone, an impulsive reply, or fatigue running the whole day. Move. Choose a concrete pause, not a symbolic one. Less exposure, less noise, more real breath. Re-listen when you want to solve everything instead of getting back in alignment.